Hello everyone, my name is Christian. Welcome to my hobby blog. Today we are doing the seventh final Vinegar Syndrome May 2022 package review. And of course, I saved unintentionally the best for last. This is a movie that I thought I would just be okay with, or in worst case scenario, that I would not like at all because of its reputation as an exploitation rape revenge movie. This is a film made in Sweden or Switzerland, I believe. It is directed by, trying to find the name. I should have done this before. Bo Arne Vibinius, who I was looking him up earlier, and apparently that's not even his real name. It is somebody else. It's like a pen name or something. But this is the film, and I'm going to show the whole package. This is Thriller, A Cruel Picture. And I love this packaging. If you don't already know, there is a similar package by Vinegar Syndrome of the films Scanner Cop 1 and Scanner Cop 2. And it's exactly the same way, where it has two slip-covered films within, and it has the original cut of the film called Thriller, A Cruel Picture. And then they have the American remake, or not even remake, re-edit, I guess, would be the more better term for this. And I did not watch this cut of the film. All I know is that they took out the hardcore scenes, which this is a hardcore pornography film, but this is probably the best of them that I've seen, at least, outside of Malabembo, because this is an actual movie and not just a porno. And the original, or the re-edit, is called They Call Her One Eye. And this movie, as I said earlier, is phenomenal. I loved this movie. I was not expecting that at all. This is, I want to say, 1973. So this is right in the middle of the Grindhouse period. So I really thought for the longest time that this movie would have been badass in terms of like a Tarantino type of badass, which is, super violent, super bloody, insane editing, cutting of the films, all of this stuff. And watching this movie, it's very deliberate, very subtle, very nuanced. In my Letterboxd review, I said that this movie could have easily been made by a merged guy of two people, David Lynch and Andrei Tarkovsky. This definitely felt like a David Lynch movie and at times a Tarkovsky film. It is very deliberate in its pacing. The first half of the movie is her kind of getting set up for the revenge arc, because the first scene of the movie is her as a 10 to 12-year-old girl, and she gives a older man like a leaf, and he rapes her. Thankfully, there's no on-screen. She just gives it to her, or to him, and we get a quick edit of him bleeding from his mouth, and her crying, and she has become mute now because of the trauma that he has given. And her mom smacks him around a little bit, and we get a time skip to her now in her late teens, or at least in her 20s, because they say it's a 15-year gap between that scene and when we see her again. And she is a mute woman now. She is on her way to the city, trying to find the bus. She has to go grocery shopping or something, some sort of errand, and she misses the bus. And as she is walking to town, she sees a well-to-do man driving by, and he slows down, asks her if he can give her a ride. And she said, well, she doesn't say anything. She just gets in because she's mute. and he's, talking about how awesome his car is, how fast it can go. Says it's a GT 3000, whatever. I don't know anything about cars, but it's a cool car. That's really all I know. And what she does is she gets suckered in and exploited by this man. He tells her that she can make a lot of money, and ends up that he's a pimp, and he just kidnaps her basically and holds her hostage and makes her satisfy men who kind of want a easy lay because she has no other choice. She is in total captivity. She is a hostage. There are other women there who are constantly having meltdowns and breakdowns because of the situation. They can't get out. The pimp is drugging them all with heroin. That way they become dependent on him. So it's very, very exploitative situation going on. And we get this really great build of all these terrible people who are exploiting these women. And our main character, played by Christina Lindberg, she is just making more money on the side by doing the more risky and more, I guess, fetish sex acts. Because she is told by a fellow hostage that there is a clinic in Switzerland, outside the country that they are being held at, and that it costs a lot of money, and that they need to just save as much as they can and hide it and make sure no one knows about it. And Christina Lindberg, her character, she begins learning how to drive in a very, I guess, badass way. It's really hard to describe. She learns how to shoot. She learns how to work on cars. All these, really good skills that we get a hint that she is going to use those in order to enact revenge on these exploitative men. And also a woman who is raping her also. And this is very similar in structure to I Spit on Your Grave, which is my favorite rape revenge movie. I think that movie is so matter of fact about how terrible rape is. Because before that film, rape was never portrayed as something completely dehumanizing, as something that just was not as terrible as it actually was and is in film. And it's a really fascinating behind the scenes for that movie, because the director, he was driving down the road one day and found a woman, completely stripped and crying for help, all of that. And he stopped his car and helped her, got her, and drove her to the police station and reported the men who had raped this woman. And he sort of realized the depiction of rape was not as terrible as he witnessed in that case, saving this woman. And so he sought to spend the first, I think it's 50 minutes or so. And this is why it's a video nasty, I Spit on Your Grave. And I believe Thriller, A Cruel Picture is not on the video nasty list. At least I've never seen it on the list. I'll check back on it to make sure, but 50 minutes of that movie is just rape. Is this woman going from one rape scene to the next. First, she is raped in a bayou. She is fishing, and a bunch of good old boy country people, horrible country people, they kind of just take her hostage and they rape her in the bayou or in the swamp, and they let her go, and then they're like, well, actually, we're not done with her yet. And so another one of them rape her because it's a group of like 4 or 5 of them, and she's raped again, and it's in very graphic detail. Um, and she escapes again, and this time she goes home because she's at a vacation home, I believe, and she's about to call the police, and we just see a foot stamped down right in front of the camera lens, and it pans up from her perspective because she's just crawling on the ground, completely destroyed, and we see that it's one of the rapists, and he's like, "Who are you gonna call?" And they rape her again, and we have a very hard to watch, I guess, breakdown of humanity on screen as she is laying there after being raped for a third time, and they all leave, and that's when the revenge starts. Is the second half, and this movie, Thriller: A Cruel Picture, is exactly the same way in structure. This is like a more nuanced way of depicting the revenge aspect, because every time there's a revenge scene where she shows up with this awesome sawed-off shotgun and her one eye, her little eye patch, she shoots them in very slow motion, and you watch as the I know it's like paintballs, but we see the shot go off, but we don't see the impact in it. Suddenly, a blood splatter appears all over the shirt, and they slow motion fall behind or fall down. And this is where I really began to love the movie, where during the murder scenes from her to these men, because the reputation of this movie is that it's an exploitation classic, and it's from the 70s. And this was a heavy inspiration to Quentin Tarantino, who, if you don't know, I'm not much of a fan of, but I really, I don't really have anything else to say about him. But you can really see the influence in here. And so I thought, with all that in mind, that we would be getting a grindhouse film. And it is so much better than that. I was expecting, like a Planet Terror type of deal, where it is, very grainy. It is just balls to the wall, insane, explosions everywhere, limbs flying. But this movie was so nuanced, and I just really loved it. The sound design alone was amazing. It reminded me of Martin by George Romero. And in this movie, anytime there's a murder scene, it's just like a pulsating beat of like a siren type of sound, and there's a few like beeping noises, and it's really, really well done. And all of those scenes of her murdering the men who have raped her and also the woman who has raped her, it's just so well done. I was not really into this movie for about the first 30 minutes because it is a hardcore porn film. And so we get a lot of porn scenes of men having sex with Christina Lindbergh. And I know that it's not actually Christina Lindbergh whose body is being displayed on camera, because people used to make fun before this restoration how it is so obvious between her on screen and the body double or the stunt double that they used to do the actual penetration scenes. And I could not tell the difference at all, so I guess they fixed that issue. They must have not relighted the scene, but redid the coloring of the scene, because it was pretty seamless. I just really fucking love this movie. I'm interested in the cut of They Call Her One Eye, but I think I'm going to take a break for a while in terms of this movie and just really soak in the details. And when I'm ready to rewatch it, I'm going to watch all the special features and just really immerse myself in the behind the scenes, because I was reading up on the very few details that there were online, and there's so much I feel like that there is to discover. There were no details online that I could find, and this one was really fucking good. I was really surprised. Really enjoyed it. This was definitely a movie that I would not have bought. I guess, would I have bought this without the subscription? Probably. Probably would not have been able to get this copy or this edition of the movie, because if you remember during the unboxing video, I discussed how this movie sold out within hours, this edition at least, and they put out a standard edition that did not even include they call it one-eye cut, which a lot of people were really pissed off about, because they did not advertise that fact at all, about the standard edition only coming with the original cut of the film. But I think the original cut is really fucking good. I mean, yes, the hardcore porn scenes give nothing to the movie, except just a little bit of more motivation to kill everybody who exploited her when she was in captivity. But my god, this movie was great. It was wonderful. I am very relieved that I enjoyed it. I'm usually not somebody who enjoys the revenge movie, at least as y'all know, from like a Death Wish type of revenge movie. Maybe it's because I much prefer a woman lead over a male lead when it comes to the revenge story, because it's so much more, I guess, well acted. It doesn't fall into tropes. It doesn't devolve into just wackiness, and I really enjoyed this one. It's a great, it would go really well with I Spit on Your Grave. This would be a great, like, European, I guess, edition or version of sort of the same story. This one was just really good. I don't have much else to say. Yeah. I think that's it for today. I am so happy that the subscription came with this edition, because now that I know I actually like the movie, I know that I have many more hours of discovery left with this. And I'm just excited to dive back into this movie somewhat soon. I'm not sure when, but that is it for today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I guess we'll see you all again next month for the Vinegar Syndrome July package. And I'm trying to think anything else before I get off. I did appear on Daisuke's Beppu's YouTube channel. I did about an hour and a half discussion with him all about my cinema journey, and I really had a great time with that. That was an absolute dream come true. That video is out now. It is on his channel, so go over to Daisuke Beppu's YouTube channel. If you type in Daisuke, you will find him on YouTube. He is the chief YouTuber all about Criterion Collection films, and I just am so blessed to have been on his channel. That was an absolute dream come true as someone who has been watching his channel for years, and I have a lot more fun I guess videos coming down the line that I am planning and that I am preparing for. One of them will be a 31 days, maybe 30 days of a specific theme, and I think I have the theme chosen, but I have to do some prep work first. So thank you all so much, and don't forget to like the video, comment on it, let me know what you think of this movie, and don't forget to subscribe if you already haven't. The more people are involved in the discussions, the better. Thank you all so much for watching, and have a great rest of the night.